Okay, so a title for Level of Enlightenment. So Sakyamuni Buddha taught that there are 52 levels of enlightenment, and it is known literally as the 52 stages of enlightenment. So maybe this is something new to most of the people here, that there are 52 levels of enlightenment, not just one, right? So actually a lot of people don't know this. They're not aware that there are 52 levels. So each of these has a name of its own. Each level has its own name. The highest stage, the 52nd, is called Buddha's Enlightenment. Buddha's Enlightenment, or Buddhahood. And just for reference, the 51st level is called the stage of true happiness. So our absolute happiness, in modern words, absolute happiness. So, all right, so there you've learned two things already. There's 52 levels, and the top level is called Buddhahood. And level 51, which is actually, if you learn Buddhism more and more deeply, this level becomes really important to us today. 52 level, not so, but the 51 level is something very important to us. So like I said, if you learn Buddhism more, you can learn about that. So this means absolute happiness, and we can become happy. We can truly achieve true happiness in this lifetime. That is the teachings. And what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is an awareness of the truth of the universe. So it's to become aware of the whole truth of the universe. That's the meaning of enlightenment, right? So, another way is to say it's like wisdom. It means our supreme wisdom. Supreme wisdom, knowing, all-knowing. So the Buddha then becomes all-knowing, or he has attained supreme wisdom. Here, the term truth does not refer to mathematical truth such as 1 + 1 = 2, or scientific truth as in the molecules of hydrogen and oxygen combined to form water. So it's not such a truth. It refers to the truth that enables all people to attain true happiness. So, meaning by listening to Buddhism, one can achieve true happiness in this lifetime. So even if we study mathematics or science, we can't attain any enlightenment through it. When somebody asks me how many stages of enlightenment did Einstein or Newton attain, I will say no, they didn't attain any stages of enlightenment. So Einstein and Newton, geniuses, but completely different from what we know about enlightenment. Completely different. But that is not to say that math or science has not helped improve our lives. Of course, we can now enjoy the convenience brought by the developments in science technology. We can converse easily with one another using the internet, like what we are doing now with Zoom. We should be grateful for the development of science technology, for sure, right? It's amazing today, nowadays we can use Zoom freely, and all of us here can connect so easily from around the world, which we couldn't really do so easily 20 years ago, never mind 30 years ago. So this is fantastic. But despite these advances, have we got true happiness? What do you think? Even though we can now use the internet, and maybe everybody here has been on the internet this morning, It's 11 a.m. now, right? We've all been on the internet, I think, for a while. Getting our news or looking at social media, listening to music or lectures or something, right? And we think this is supposed to make us happy. And yes, to a degree it does. But does it give us true happiness? That's the thing, right? That's the thing that we're looking for, is lasting happiness. And although it's wonderful, maybe most people would answer no to this question, that they still don't have true happiness. Not yet, anyway. So, but we are living to be happy, right? And that's what we want. We still feel kind of empty, don't we? Even though we have, conveniences, and you can do your shopping online, you can do your banking, you can, get food ordered into your home. I mean, such wonderful things. You can even do dating online. I mean, it's really, everything is so convenient and so easy. But convenience doesn't necessarily mean happiness, right? That's a thing that maybe people get confused about. Just because it's convenient or easy doesn't mean it's happy. It's definitely more comfortable. So we don't have true happiness yet, but we are looking for it. So when talking about truth in Buddhism, it is different from those meanings, different from the truth in mathematics or science. Truth in Buddhism refers to the truth that enables all people to attain true happiness. So, okay. So this is why it's important to listen to Buddhism. So as much as it's important to have a job, to earn money, to have a comfortable life, this is important for our security, right? For our peace of mind as well. But these things can be lost. All of these things can be lost, but it's important to have them, right? When we have these, then we can also listen to Buddhism as well. The people over in Ukraine who are, torn out of their homes, they understand the meaning of having security now, or losing a home or their job or everything, right? Their lives are totally upside down. So when we lose these things, we see how important they are, but still they don't give us true happiness, right? But they are very, very important. But what we're talking about in Buddhism is to attain real happiness, lasting happiness. So on the subject of happiness, have you ever asked yourself the question, why do I live? I think a lot of you who come to this meeting or who are listening to Buddhism do ask this question. I know I did before I met Buddhism. I was Catholic and I asked myself, why am I living? What am I here for? What is the purpose of life? And then I really actively went to find an answer. And maybe you guys here too are also asking yourself the same question. And especially when we are suffering. When people suffer, they really want to get an answer to this. They want to know, why am I alive? Why am I really struggling to stay alive? To go to a job that is only so. Because life is not wonderful. So, and if I'm suffering so much, then what is the purpose of it all? So, this is natural, right? When suffering comes. So it's important to know why I live. Why am I living? When asked this question, people consciously or not reveal their desire to have happiness. This is what we will say. I'm living because I'm living for something, right? That's why I'm living. For instance, we claim to live for our families, our jobs, to travel, enjoy our hobbies, bring peace to the world, and so on. So families, our jobs, traveling, we love these things, and hobbies. This brings us happiness for sure, right? It brings us very nice happiness. These are necessary. While these answers seem different on the surface, the underlying aspiration that ties all these activities is the same: to live a fulfilling life. Or put more directly, we live to find happiness. Now, before I met Buddhism, I was looking pretty hard. I did not put it into these words. I didn't realize this, that I was living to find happiness, but it's nice to see it in black and white, right? That we're all doing things every day looking to be happy and to avoid suffering. Therefore, is it not reasonable to say that the purpose of life is to attain happiness? So the next question becomes, how can we become happy? Or what is the path to finding true happiness? Right? Have you ever thought about these questions? I'm pretty sure you have. How can I become happy, or how can I find true happiness? In Buddhism, one who knows the truth that enables all people to attain lasting happiness is said to have attained enlightenment. Attaining enlightenment is akin to climbing a mountain. The higher one climbs, the better the view. Once one finally makes it to the summit, one can enjoy a panoramic view. In the same way, once one attains the highest or the 52nd stage of enlightenment, one will become aware of the whole truth of the universe. So this is the first meaning of the term Buddha, a title for a stage of enlightenment. Right, so you got that one then. It means the highest level of the 52 levels of enlightenment. Okay, let me see, there's a question. So I agree, we're on a hedonistic treadmill sometimes, yeah. So, well, we just need direction. We need to know which way we're going. I think people are lost, and there's so much distraction going on. So for sure, we need direction in our life. So 2 meanings of the word Buddha. Person who has attained the enlightenment of a Buddha, number 2. So now about the person. So another meaning of the term Buddha is a person who attained the enlightenment of Buddha. Only by reaching this stage of Buddhahood does one become qualified to be called Buddha. The second meaning may be easy to understand. So it becomes like a title for the person, like if you become president of a country, president so-and-so, or the CEO of a company, right? The CEO. And if you reach this enlightenment, then you get this name. Now I have a question. How many people have been able to attain the enlightenment of Buddha on this earth? How many people? The answer might surprise you. Not many people get this right, but you will now. The answer is only one. Only one person in our history has gotten this level. I think you know his name. So the name most of us are familiar with is Siddhartha Gautama, Prince Siddhartha. And after he achieved enlightenment, he became known as Sakyamuni Buddha. Sakyamuni, right? So it's the same person. For no one has ever reached this level of enlightenment on this earth except Sakyamuni Buddha. It is said, there was no Buddha before Sakyamuni Buddha. There is no Buddha after Sakyamuni Buddha. Keep in mind also, Buddhism refers to the teachings of the Buddha only. Since there has been no Buddha on earth besides Sakyamuni Buddha, Buddhism is the teachings of Sakyamuni. So Buddhism that's being taught now or in the past must have come from Sakyamuni Buddha to be called Buddhism. Sakyamuni Buddha attained Buddha's enlightenment at the age of 35. What was his life like before he achieved this? To know his history is also to know the teachings of Buddhism. Okay. About 2,600 years ago, in what is now known as Nepal, King Suddhodana and Queen Mahamaya resided in the castle of Kapil Vastu. At around the age of 40, Queen Mahamaya gave birth to her son named Siddhartha Gautama. He was born into the Sakya clan in the beautiful village of Lumbini. Maybe some of you have read the book Siddhartha, and maybe some of you have learned about this in school, I think in high school maybe. And others might have seen the Netflix documentary on his life. Okay. So he was born in Lumbini to the Sakya clan. That's where he got his name, is later Sakyamuni, Sakya clan. There is a famous story recounting the Buddha's birth. When he was born, he took 7 steps in each of the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west, and pointed one hand to the heavens above and the other hand to the earth below, like this statue here. So what does this mean? Why is he pointing up and pointing down? And then he said as follows, in the sky above and the earth below, we alone are precious. So this is a very important word. In the sky above and the earth below, we alone are precious. So I think these are some of the most famous words that is often used, and also maybe the most misinterpreted words as well. Sometimes it says, in the sky above and the earth below, I alone am precious. But that would not, Sakyamuni Buddha would never say such a kind of an arrogant thing. He was referring to human beings, we alone. In the whole universe, human beings are precious for a reason. This is what he is saying, right? So it means that there is something that human beings can do that other living beings cannot. So this is what makes human life very, very precious, right? Perhaps you're wondering how a newborn baby could possibly walk. You may also be questioning whether the story is true or not. Regardless, if it is, it conveys an important message. It means that there is a very special goal or purpose that only humans can accomplish, and that every single one of us born into this world has one and only sacred mission to achieve. This mission is the purpose of life, or it can be expressed as liberation from suffering. So the purpose of life is the answer to the question, why do I live? So I live for a purpose. I live for a reason. And then we live to find out what that is. So Sakyamuni Buddha gave the answer then in his teachings. after achieving enlightenment. This is what he preached for 45 years. And conversely, it can be expressed as liberation from suffering. So he taught that everybody is suffering and we want to get rid of suffering. And when suffering goes away, we get happiness. So we could say then the purpose of life is to be happy, or another way is to say to get rid of suffering. Either way, it's okay. So liberation, this is an important word, liberation from suffering. So I want to show you something here. It's a little advanced, but that's okay. So this is important. When he took 7 steps, maybe you were wondering, what does this mean? He took 7 steps in each of the 4 directions. Why 7? Well, numbers in Buddhism are really important. So I want to show you. 7 it means 6 plus 1. 6 plus 1, right? Well, let's start off with the 4 directions means north, south, east, and west, means everywhere in the universe, all directions in the universe, right? And then 7 is 6 plus 1. So what is 6? What does 6 refer to? In the universe, everywhere in the universe, there are what's called 6. Oops, what's happening? Okay. So there are 6 realms in the universe. You can see this right now. Question 48. The 6 worlds of delusion filled with endless suffering are called the 6 realms or the 6 worlds. List them. Number 1, answer, realm of hell. Realm of hungry ghosts. 3, realm of animals. 4, realm of asuras. 5, realm of humans. Sound familiar? 6, realm of human beings. So 1, the realm of hell, the realm of extreme agony. 2, the realm of hungry ghosts. In this realm, when beings try to eat or drink, all the food and drink turns to fire, so they are unable to consume anything. Because of this, these beings are extremely thin and continually suffer from hunger and thirst. Number 3, the realm of animals, the world of dogs, cats, and other animals. In this realm, the strong prey on the weak, so beings live in constant fear. 4, the realm of asuras, a realm of conflict in which beings suffer because of ceaseless fighting. 5, the realm of humans, a realm where beings experience a mixture of pleasure and pain, and the realm in which we live. 6, the realm of heavenly beings, the world of ample pleasure. The sufferings that beings experience here is lighter than that of other realms. However, this is also a realm of delusion. Their lives are limited and their pleasures do not last. Buddhism teaches that from ages past, each of us has been born and reborn countless times in a myriad of life forms. Just as a wheel keeps turning without end, so all beings travel endlessly back and forth among the various worlds of illusion. That's these six worlds, in constant suffering. This is known as transmigration in the 6 realms, the birth and death cycle, or the endless wheel of suffering. In the Hymn of True Faith, Master Shinran wrote, circling among the houses of the birth and death cycle, the condition of endless suffering that we cannot escape is likened to a house apart from which we cannot live. Circling means going back and forth without end. To be liberated from these worlds of delusion and live in eternal happiness is the very purpose of listening to Buddhism. So to be liberated from suffering is the purpose of listening to Buddhism. So we've talked about the 6 realms already. Okay, so there's a brief overview of what this means. 7 steps. 6 refers to the 6 realms, and the 7th step, maybe one of you can guess it. The 7th step is liberation, to be liberated from these worlds. So that's the 7th step. That was going to be his teaching. That was Buddha's teaching, that he was going to, because he, reaching Buddhahood, he had been liberated from the 6 realms. After he died, he was not going to go back into the 6 realms of suffering. But all human beings do. And Sakyamuni Buddha was able to see this through his wisdom. He had this ability to see people going around and around, being born and dying over and over again, endlessly. We cannot see it ourselves. We don't have that wisdom. We only see this world, this present life. But like we saw, the 52 level is wisdom of the universe. And Sakyamuni was able to understand this and see it. So being able to understand it, then he began to teach it and to tell us about what he saw, and also how to get liberation from this, from these, this endless wheel, circle, right? So maybe some of you have questions about these 6 realms, but tonight we don't have time to talk about this. Maybe the next time, if you have a question, we can, or you can message me if you want, but just to know these anyway for now is okay. We are the first 3 realms are the most dreadful, it is taught. These are the worst. Of course, hell is the most worst. Human beings is one of the best. It is not the best. That's number 6, the heavenly beings. But that world is also temporary. It's like heaven, but it's a temporary place. And when they die, they have to come back in. So the realm of humans is like a mix of all of these 6. There's a slice of all of these. As you can see now, there's the realm of asuras. Like we have this in the Ukraine, right now. And there's always wars in this world, all the time. So we have animals here, we have people who are hungry and people who are suffering a lot. So we have a lot of things in this world. But this is the place where there's some pain and some pleasure. So this is the best place actually to listen to Buddha's teaching. That's why he appeared here. Because we don't have so much suffering that we cannot listen, right? We have some suffering and some pleasure, and that's a good place actually to be in. If we have too much happiness, like in the realm of heavenly beings, we can't listen to Buddhism. We don't want to find liberation because we're so content, we're so happy. That's being too comfortable is not necessarily a good thing, because it's only temporary, right? So anyway, this is why the human realm is considered to be the best one. And that's why Sakyamuni said human life is precious. Humans are precious. Human life is precious. We alone are precious, right? All right, guys. Time is running out. We only have like 3 minutes left. Do you have any questions you want to ask? I'll kind of open it up for questions here. We'll continue this next time, maybe next week or the week after. Any questions? I think you've learned a lot in 35 minutes. If you didn't know these before, I think you've learned quite a bit. So the two meanings of the word Buddha, the 52 stages, and the 6 realms. So that's quite a bit. Some Buddhists, they say the 6 realms don't exist. This is just kind of a fairy tale. That's what some Buddhists say. But Sakyamuni Buddha would never say such a thing, because these Buddhists also say that the Pure Land is also a fairy tale. So if the Pure Land is a fairy tale, then it means that we have to suffer. There is no hope for eternity. So it would mean that we are stuck being born and dying over and over and over again. So then there's no point in even listening to Buddhism. And then there's no point in living, actually, if we're just going to be reborn straight away. You're welcome, Mel. Thank you. Thank you for your words. So the Pure Land is the 7th step. The 7th step is the Pure Land, where one goes when they achieve enlightenment in this lifetime. Right? That's the 7th step. So yes, enlightenment, Buddha's enlightenment is the same as nirvana, meaning that, let's say you achieve enlightenment in this lifetime, then when you die, you achieve what's called nirvana, meaning that it's absolute bliss. So that's right. To go to the Pure Land is nirvana. Is the Buddhist enlightenment also related to the New Age language ascension? I don't know. I don't know what ascension is. But you know, it's not easy to achieve enlightenment. It's definitely not the same as the teaching of what's his name? The Power of Now. That author who's really popular. Poison arrow. So enlightenment is not something that goes and comes, or that comes and goes. That's not the real meaning of enlightenment. Some people have experiences of enlightenment or an enlightened moment, but then it fades away after a few days or after a few months. So that's not the enlightenment that we are talking about here, right? So it's something that's permanent, that never fades. So this is the true enlightenment that we are looking for. All right, guys, time is up, and glad you could join. So I will post again when we can come back and continue with this talk, okay? All right, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. So we'll do this like this. Have a great day, and contact me if you got any questions, right? Send me a personal message and we can talk. And if you want to listen to more with me, I can also arrange that too. All right, bye-bye.